Juncos Hollinger Racing isn't your typical motorsports team. It's led by Ricardo Juncos, a former race car driver from Argentina who raced his way to success in Indiana.
Some memories from my past, some collection of trophies. Our first IndyCar steering wheel we used in 2017 with some replicas of those cars.
This comes after humble beginnings on and off the racetrack.
This is the only pair of gloves that I ever use, and you can see a little bit of the damage with my fingers, and it's hard, so you can see also some of the grease on the glove because I was the mechanic of the race car as well.
After Argentina's economy collapsed in 2001, Juncos lost everything.
So I saw my dad also losing many times, and my grandfather, by being in Argentina, many times they lost everything.
Forcing him to chase his dreams in motorsports with only $400 in his pocket. Fast forward, Ricardo formed Juncos Racing and has won 5 Indy Pro 2000 championships, as well as 2 Indy Lights titles. Last year, he grew into Juncos Hollinger Racing with business partner Brad Hollinger, hiring 22-year-old IndyCar driver Callum Ilott.
United States Open welcome you with open arms, and that's the way I feel. But as a Latino, we know how much we suffer, how much sacrifice we have to make for everything we do back home.
No matter the challenges, Juncos races on.
We have a little bit of plus that we, in this country, we can make a big difference, and that's why you never give up, you always keep pushing, and one day you get there.
The team says they're also counting on the Latino community to cheer them on. Reporting in Indianapolis, Camila Fernandez, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
There's a desperate call for help saving animals in Anderson. The Animal Protection League says cats and dogs are filling up the shelter's restrooms and offices. News 8's Camila Fernandez went there to learn what they need.
The animals are losing their minds in these conditions. The stress level is so high that they're becoming things that they were never meant to be.
For a place with a capacity of 100 animals, there's more than triple the number of dogs and cats, all living in difficult conditions. The Animal Protection League in Anderson says it's running out of food and water dishes and crates. There's also not enough volunteers to keep up with the demand.
It's awful. Stress is through the roof, but in the last 2 years, the stress for myself, my staff, volunteers, it's horrible. Literally, we're falling apart.
It never stops. There's no breaks. You don't get a break. You don't feel like, oh, I just want to volunteer 1 or 2 days a week. It's at this point, you feel like you have to volunteer and you have to be here and you have to show up. And so they do. We all do.
The animal shelter says more and more animals are coming in after being rescued from grim conditions. There's a dog with her pups in a restroom, and there are cats loose in the office.
We have a mom and 3 puppies that were abandoned in a house. They were eating dried rice. So we're going to try to press charges for the people who abandoned them.
The nonprofit organization's director, Malia Stringer, says the state needs new laws that can help address the situation.
When was the last time you heard about anything happening for somebody who abandoned an animal, for somebody who beat an animal, for somebody who did any of these horrific things, somebody who is breeding these pit bulls over and over again?
Stringer says they're trying their best to move forward.
As these animals succumb to the stress, sometimes we have to make hard decisions. It is not compassionate to let animals live in this condition for very long.
The Animal Protection League is asking everybody to show some support, either by making a donation or by simply sharing their Facebook posts. I'm Camila Fernandez for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.
Let's begin with Camila Fernandez, who talked with friends and family of the wife and husband that died in the shooting.
Spoke with the family of Pedro Pineda and Rosa Miriam Rivera de Pineda. The family is devastated and is asking the community for support.
Muchos dicen hasta que la muerte los separe. A ellos no los separó.
Many say, until death do them part. It didn't separate them. They came to the United States together and left together. Evelyn Pineda lost her dad, 56-year-old Pedro Pineda, in Sunday's deadly shooting at the Greenwood Park Mall. They also lost Pedro's wife, 37-year-old Rosa Pineda, in the shooting. The third victim was 30-year-old Victor Gomez.
Rosy tiene su hermana.
Rosy has her sister, her whole family in El Salvador, but she became family.
Pasó a ser familia de nosotros.
Evelyn says her father had a total of 8 children. She says she and her family are seeking financial support to help with funeral costs.
Era una persona bien llevadera, bien humilde.
He was a very easygoing person, very humble and very friendly. Well, and I never knew of a problem, not even when we were children at school.
Y siempre fue así.
Javier Alvarez says he went to school with Pedro as children in El Salvador, and he says his death has been difficult.
Buscando oportunidades.
Looking for opportunities, a better life, and well, he went through something that we don't wish on anyone. But the time he was working here, well, yes, he lived a beautiful life.
The family says there will be a food fundraiser on Saturday in Indianapolis. We'll have more information about that fundraiser on our website. Camila Fernandez, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
We begin at 5 o'clock with new details on the shooting death of a 5-year-old child in Indianapolis. Tonight, for the first time, we're hearing what the child's parents say happened in those fateful minutes Friday night.
News 8's Camila Fernandez also spoke with a neighbor who saw his parents after the shooting.
Hearing the mother screaming, just me being a mom, you know, it really pierced my soul.
Flowers and toys lie in front of the home where 5-year-old Hakeem Scott was found with a gunshot wound after police say he shot himself. It happened on Friday night at the Nowland and North Keeling Avenues intersection.
Me and my daughter had rolled past and had seen someone else had started, you know, the candles, and it had a couple toys out here. So thank God I had a toy in my car, so we were able to put that there.
Police have arrested his father, 25-year-old Jabbar Scott, for neglect causing death. According to court papers, the boy's mother was in the kitchen and his father in the restroom when the child pulled the trigger with his 3-year-old brother in front of him.
They're just curious. So for you to put something, if you're going to have something in your home for protection, then it needs to be safety precautions that are taken in order to keep that.
We really have to manage our gun safety and reinforce it more.
According to police, Jabbar was watching TV with his 2 sons when he placed his gun down in the side of the couch and left. Police also found cocaine inside the home. Jabbar told police he could not remember where he found the gun after the shooting, but did remember releasing the gun's magazine when he retrieved it. Neighbors are thinking about the child's family.
Her and the father, they were both crying, you know, hysterically. And it was hard to hear, you know, just knowing like at any moment, you know, your kids could be in danger, so keeping them safe is so scary.
I can't even comprehend what they're feeling right now. Much love to them, and I really hope no one has to go through that, you know.
Some neighbors tell me their thoughts and prayers are with the boy's family. In Indianapolis, Camila Fernandez, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.
A water main break here in Indianapolis has flooded streets, leaving cars partially submerged. Since this morning, crews have been trying to fix the problem. News 8's Camila Fernandez is there and has been in touch with residents. Camila, a number of people have been impacted because of this.
Phil, that's right. Some residents tell me this has been extremely troubling. And right now I'm standing close to East 25th and Rural Streets intersection. And earlier today, this area looked entirely different. The water main break flooded sidewalks and streets. But as you can see now, crews are getting closer to restoring this part of the neighborhood.
Hopefully we can get something done because this flood in here, it doesn't make sense.
The amount of water is overwhelming. If you take a look around me, it looks like what you'd expect to see in the aftermath of a destructive rainstorm. I mean, the water is almost knee-deep from where I'm standing. And some residents I spoke to tell me this has raised some major concerns.
It always floods over there, and usually you can just drive through it because it's not that bad. But this is the worst it's ever been.
Streets and sidewalks covered with water and cars partially submerged. According to Citizens Energy Group, the water main break began at around 6 a.m. due to a maintenance issue. Throughout the day, crews at East 25th Street between Keystone Avenue and Wheeler Street have been trying to figure out what exactly caused it.
Once they get the valves closed right around the specific break, then for the most part, apart from that specific block, everybody is back to normal except for that one specific area where the break exists.
Missy Lopez says she and her family have been without water due to the flooding.
Oh, we can't use the bathroom. We can't get water. Luckily, we've got bottled water, and hopefully we keep power.
The company's spokesperson, Benjamin Easley, says some residents living close to the flooding are facing this issue, but they're working to fix it.
Our claims management team has been on site working to make contact with people who may have been impacted. And obviously, it's going to be different for individual people, whether it's a car or a piece of property that may have been impacted.
Citizens Energy Group tells me crews will have this area restored by the end of the day. In Indianapolis, Camila Fernandez, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like. Beating the odds in male-dominated industries like welding doesn't come easy, but the Latinas Welding Guild is rising above the challenge.
We do obviously a lot of the technical training, but honestly what we do mostly is build community.
They're a bright spark in the world of welding. According to the American Welding Society, about 5% of welders are women. But for the Latinas Welding Guild in Indianapolis, the sky is the limit.
Women of color make an even smaller percentage of that. So having a training facility and a school ran by Latino women, empowering folks that look like us and diverse welders to get into the trade is really unique.
Consuelo Lockhart leads the organization. Since 2017, they've offered new career opportunities for marginalized communities. This month, the group opened a new facility on the city's west side, adding new programs. Jessica Hernandez is the organization's deputy director.
We've actually recently started our youth programming, so we're now able to serve incoming 6th through 12th graders who want to explore this as a career, and it's a great way for them to test out what welding looks like and giving them opportunities to learn and grow.
She will now help lead Project Azul, a nonprofit that focuses on skills training, workforce coaching, and job placement.
So now with more programming, that means that folks are really able to beef up their resumes and not just get a job, but now move into careers that are really fulfilling and meaningful to them.
Hernandez says they're hopeful these new programs will torch the ceiling for women welders.
Our goal is in the next 10 years, we're going to have international programming. Our goal is to open up a trade school, not just all over the United States, but in Guatemala and in Mexico and in other countries that could really use our programs and services.
The Latinas Welding Guild says they're also searching for another welding instructor to help them educate the next generation of welders in the community. I'm Camila Fernandez for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.
5 people, including 3 teens, have been charged with a string of crimes against the city's Hispanic community. News 8's Camila Fernandez spoke with one of the families involved, Camila, and the victims you spoke to say that they were robbed at gunpoint.
Hey, Phil, that's right. Police have charged the duo and 3 juveniles for multiple armed robberies, beatings, and a home invasion on the city's west side.
No hay palabra. There are no words. Well, my girl has been in very bad shape.
The Marion County Prosecutor's Office has charged 22-year-old Ronald McGarr Jr. and 34-year-old Danielle Nicole Gutierrez Carashure and 3 unnamed juveniles in the case. Karen Munguia tells me on June 26, she and her husband Rafael Merino Neri were celebrating their daughter's 16th birthday when 4 men robbed them at their taco truck. In these court documents, Neri said one of the suspects told him he was with the police and demanded all of his money from the taco truck. Neri told police the group threatened to kill his children if they didn't give them the money.
The food truck, we have always had it. Maybe they believe that one has money where one is a worker. Because we work day by day to give my children something to eat. We strive.
Neri told police the suspects took a few $100s in cash and cell phones, then fired shots at them as they got away. Police traced the suspects to a black Chrysler 200 and this home on 9th Street. According to court documents, McGarr said one of the juveniles came up with a plan to rob the taco truck. Police have linked the 2 adults to several other crimes. Earlier in June, police say the 2 and 3 others robbed 2 men in their apartment. They got away with car keys, electronics, and a wallet. And on June 3rd, police were called near 10th Street and Tibbs Avenue. A man told police he had been picked up and taken to a white house near 10th and Tibbs Avenue by a white female with blonde hair. He says he was attacked by 5 masked men with baseball bats. He says they even used a blowtorch to burn his face and legs. He eventually got away.
Whether it be someone who's Hispanic, someone from a different country that speaks a different language, anyone who's vulnerable, it's frustrating that people would seek out those individuals.
Gutierrez and McGarr were charged on July 1st. They are due back in court for pre-trial hearings in October. Reporting in Indianapolis, Camila Fernandez, WishTV, WishTV.com, and follow us on Facebook.